Welcome, Anya, your house coach. For those who are connecting for the first time, I really focus on the energy of our space. I love the space clearing, the functionality, organizing. It's so important that we are able to see and find and know where everything is, well, almost everything. And also the design, loving the space that you are in. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be about money. And so today we are going to talk about a couple of areas. We're going to talk about the living room. I'm sitting in my living room. We're going to talk about where we're going in the month of June, which is just around the corner. And I'm going to connect with you also on a crystal and energy writing. So letter of intention, and I'll finish off with that, the letter of intention. So I will begin with yesterday. I decided to choose a crystal that I haven't really been familiar with. I love crystals and they're all around me. As deep as I've gone, I have realized that I had some sort of connection with Atlantis. And just before everything went down, I was grabbing all my crystals. I wanted to save them all. And so I've now had this reconnection in the last, 6 years or more, constantly creating the connection with crystals and having them in different parts of my home. So the one that I picked up was this one, and it is called malachite. Some of you might know of it. A little bit more new to me because I didn't spend that much time researching it, though I did own it and I have a couple of other ones. And what I really liked about it when I saw this stone, without knowing what its name or purpose was, is I liked the green. I really felt that the injection of this green was bright and vibrant, and I kind of saw it as a go action kind of crystal. And when I started looking it up, I have a couple of books, and the book that I found this information is Crystals 365, and it is by Heather, who is the founder of the Energy Muse. And some of the countries that are associated with this crystal or who used it has been Egypt. And let's just see, I wrote some notes down. They really enjoyed it for jewelry, and then they made it into a powder form for shadow. Another country that really connected with it was Chinese and Korean. Korean used it for paint, and Chinese loved using it for decor. And also the Germans used it as a healing stone. Very, very interesting. Being part German, I never realized that the Germans were so into years ahead into crystals. Of course, everybody is reconnecting with them now, which is so beautiful. You're seeing them everywhere. Different countries that I visit, I'm just seeing an influx of crystals. I actually even saw crystals in the airport last week, and my husband had picked up a few new ones. So it is everywhere, which is really nice. I mean, they do so much for us. So malachite is a stone that helps with transformation. And I thought that was really interesting for me because I do help people transform their spaces. And that is the alchemy and in me. And also I feel that you are too. We can make a lot of changes in our life, and if we put our action to it, and then we see the better version of ourselves. And for me, I'm really about connecting with the space, because when we really are familiar and have respect for it, it then becomes this connection to us and actually supports us. So there is this beautiful bond and relationship that our spaces have. And so malachite was just the perfect stone. One of the exercises it was suggested is to hold it and then write down, I will transform, and write it down and then say it out loud 8 times. So if you do have malachite, I invite you to do that and take some time to think about what is it that you would like to transform. Now, interesting enough, June is a month of change. Now, it is the third month of the second quarter if you are in business. It is the month that we are going to leave spring and come into summer. So summer solstice will be connecting with us on the 20th of June. It is a month that is busy. We've got children finishing school at the end of June, and people are thinking of their holidays and starting to book cottages and camping and being more outdoors. We're spending time in our gardens. Some of us have balconies, so we're working on bringing in some green space. Maybe we've had it the last couple of years. I know I have a new client coming up next week that we are going to transform her balcony. She used to have a garden and she just wants to see a little bit of green. And so I love YouTube. There's so many different videos that you can go out there and find whatever it is that you are looking for. And that is about June. Now I am sitting in the living room, and I wanted to talk about also and share with you the importance of our space and how we can change it up when it feels a little bit dull. I find that towards the last part of each season, we feel like we want to just do an uplift, or we need to do an uplift. We can kind of feel that it's coming down a little bit. And so it has been quite rainy, and I spent some time in this room making some changes. And I wanted to share that with you because changes don't necessarily mean it needs to cost anything. Changes could mean just making some changes. And that is a reflection of maybe moving some things around, which I did. As you can see, this plant sitting over here used to be somewhere else. And so now when I walk into the room, I see the plant and connect to it, or anybody else that walks into the room. However, where it was before is when you were sitting where I'm sitting now, you could see it when you are looking at that wall, which is the wall of the TV. So doing something like moving something around makes such a huge difference. You start to reconnect with it and have maybe a new profound respect, love for it. And so I do love seeing that green when I walk in. Another area that I wanted to address is dusting. So I would say it doesn't really matter where you live, because I really noticed that big city, which I'm in, or a small town, the dust accumulation has been getting more and more and more. And what is it about dust? Well, it's low vibrating because it just sits on the object. If that could be a light, a feature light from the wall, if that could be let's say the lamp here, the coffee table, underneath the furniture. So I spent a lot of time moving furniture, uplifting the carpet, and sweeping, vacuuming, but also dusting the walls around the windows and any other place that I see that it is sitting on. The other item that I wanted to talk about dusting, which I find really changes the energy too, is an object. I mean, I did talk to you about the lamp, but if you took something such as, let me just bring this vase here, and you just took a microfiber cloth and you just started taking off and clearing, dusting, it just changes the whole energy. And the same thing with these faux plants. I just kind of like sprayed it out and the dust flew away. So I know I'm spending a lot of time talking about dust, but dust does sit more often than not. So that changed the transformation as well in the living room. I am focusing on those areas, and then also just adding a little bit of different color. So that was the other thing that I did. So if you look at these candles here, I just changed a little bit of the color. They have a little bit of a spring lightness feel, where in the winter I would maybe put a darker color, which would bring it a more cozier. And this is just giving it a little bit more of freshness. And so I had these candles, I just, had put them away. And so I do that sometimes. And the reason I'm bringing that up is, again, I don't want you to feel that you have to buy something new. And I am a big believer of first doing the rearranging, the cleaning, and all of that before you go out and buy anything, because you don't really know what you need till you've done the first part of it. And so this task was done, I would say, 3 days ago. And the other area that we did do was a decluttering. So it's not in this view right now, but there's cupboards, and there had to be a couple of shelves that we went through, and we just put items in piles. So I had a couple of books, I put them in the book pile. I had loose paper, I put them in the paper pile. I had a whole bunch of pens, I had batteries. And so yes, it becomes monotonous. Does the batteries work, or is the pens working? But once you go through it, then it feels so much better that, those 5 pens don't work anymore. So what is it why are you having them? And so when we remove what doesn't serve us anymore, it brings for something new. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to bring something in, but it creates a newness. And so that's what's happened in this space. And I'll tell you that every time I walk in here, or another family member, there just seems to be a little bit more of calmness going on, and clarity and simplicity, because all of that excess of what doesn't serve us is gone. Darker colors, dust, clutter. So, or maybe items that we no longer used or needed, and then rearranging, giving a little bit of a new feeling on different parts of the space. So that is what is really interesting about when we spend some time clearing a room. And I will say, I do talk a lot about, grabbing the phone and putting 5 minutes on. But this time we didn't do that. Our intention was to do some gardening, and it rained. So we honed on and said, let's focus on this room. It needs our attention. So think about maybe scheduling some time with a room. Understand it's going to take some time. I do again decide maybe listen to a YouTube or watch something, but this time I just stayed with the space, and I really connected with that. So I'll finish off with 2 areas, and then we'll pull a card. What I love suggesting is, once you have put some attention to cleaning and organizing and designing your room, I like putting in a letter of intention. And when I write, I always write in the present, and I write with a lot of adjectives and a lot of adverbs, and I talk about what I want the essence of the space to feel. And so I just grabbed one, that I had put together. Let's see, and that was in my hallway, because there's a little hallway shelf. And it was done in 2024 of April. So that is about a month and a half, 2 months. And it really talked about the vibration of this space, receiving new ideas and creativity, and that our home is a happy home with good luck charm. And we feel that we are in charge of our decisions and ideas and destiny, and that the family members embrace leadership with new beginnings of wealth and bringing in intentions and having balance, love, happiness, wealth, and health. And so if I think about that prosperity, we certainly have felt that. There's been some lovely conversations that have gone in, and we definitely have had respect for some turn taking and listening to each other, and there is creativity with ideas. So if you're interested in the letter of intention, just message me below and I will send that to you. And so now lastly, I wanted to draw a card, and I took this deck, which is from Denise Linn, The Sacred Destiny. Denise Linn is the amazing, high vibrating spiritual woman that I took the space clearing certification with. And I just love her energy, and she's just a wealth of knowledge. So I've had these sitting in a special space, and I've cleared them. And if you want to clear your cards, you can just do a couple things, knock them 3 times. So whatever was there before, your question from before, can be cleared. I like putting a crystal on them and having that sit for a while. So my question for this session is, what message do we want to receive from the oracle cards about what does our living room space need from us? So this is a reading card, one that I'm going to pick for all of us on our living room, and what message does our living room have for us. And if that space is shared, again, if you have a studio space and you've got your bedroom, your dining area, your living, that is fine, because one room is just as important as 3 or 5. And we've had one fall out. So let's see. Oh, and this is what it says. The message that your living room wants to give to you is success. Isn't that wonderful? And there we have the lots of green. So we talked about plants, and also one thing they have been talking about is that there is a Venus and Malachite, I believe. For some reason, I felt that there was Venus. I felt that there was Venus in there with love. So not sure where I'm seeing that, but I do know that there is a lot of change going on with June, and that Venus is part of that with Jupiter. So let's see what success says to us about our living room. And I am just checking to see what number we're looking at, and it is page 89. It says success, the tropical jungle. Page 89, and if we're looking at numerology, that would be 17, and that would be 8. So it is telling us that the message they want us to have is that satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment are at hand. Success is waiting to expand in your life. Be ready to accept and embrace the success, for it might occur rapidly. All is possible. The gates of triumph are waiting to open. Being in this state of gratitude for small successes in your life will give birth to larger ones. Your satisfaction will come in many forms from many areas of your life. Celebrate it all with the breath in, and no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. This is an excellent time to make commitments, sign contracts, and make deals. Good fortune will ensue. Ensue. And so, well, maybe the contracts, if you're having one, is the living room to read it in. If you spend some time on transforming your space without doing any major purchases. This is without spending money. This is about transforming your space with you. And what can happen? Well, the card says success. So let me know if you've taken some time. Let me know what's up with your living space. If you've got a question, if you've got a dilemma, I am here to support you. Thank you so much for connecting. If you did like what I said, please connect with the like button. I understand why people always ask that in YouTube. I so respect that. So if that's something that, you know, is important to you, that you'd like to continue to hear more about the home and the energy of it, and why something so simple as just cleaning your space, moving some things around, can really make a change for you, a positive change that can bring you success. And why? Because you deserve it. Take care, and we will connect soon.